The Frenchman said there is no way the UK will be allowed to negotiate a bespoke deal as Theresa May has been given the green light to finally discuss Britain's future relationship with the European Union. Trade talks will begin next year after the Prime Minister came to an agreement with Brussels in the first phase of the negotiations. The EU has issued a three-page document outlining its harsh guidelines for negotiating the future relationship with Britain, insisting the final deal can only be concluded once the UK has become a third country. Brussels has also said the UK will continue to participate in the customs union and single market during the transition. It will have to comply with EU trade policy as well as permitting freedom of movement during the expected two-year period. Sky Getty Brexit News. Michel Barnier says there is no way Britain will be allowed to sign bespoke deal. They have to face the consequences of their own decision. Michel Barnier, the European Commission's chief Brexit negotiator, suggested he will not ease up Britain as negotiations hurtle toward March 2019. Mr. Barnier told Prospect magazine the Brexit negotiation is unique and extraordinary. It is the first time an EU member state has decided to leave and will do everything for it to remain unique. The 66-year-old, however, attempted to say he wasn't attempting to punish the UK for its decision to leave the EU. He said, "My mandate and the platform I have proposed have nothing to do with punishment. You won't find a single word about revenge or undue hardship in my statements or in those of the French president and other heads of states, but the promises of zero punishment being handed out by the EU may not resonate with Britons." After Mr. Barnier insisted there is no way the UK will be allowed a bespoke deal with the bloc. Mr. Barnier insisted the actual negotiations on the future relationship will only begin once the UK leaves the EU, suggesting that Britain will not be allowed to conclude talks early. However, parallel talks will start probably next March, according to the Frenchman. Mr. Barnier said the British had the idea they could mingle everything: the price for past commitments, the financial issue and the future. We said first we settle the past, like in any separation, then we start talking about the future, so parallel talks will start probably next March. The actual negotiations on the future relationship will only begin once the UK leaves the EU. He added, "They have to realise there won't be any cherry-picking. We won't mix up the various scenarios to create a specific one and accommodate the wishes, mixing, for instance, the advantages of the Norwegian model, member of the single market, with the simple requirements of the Canadian one. No way. They have to face the consequences of their own decision."